What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Grey Talks Wrestling. Hope you're all keeping well and you're ready for another retro review. If you're new around here, then smash that subscribe button. If you like what I do, like this video, share and comment down below what you thought about the 1994 Royal Rumble. For me, I enjoyed the show. There were some good matches on here, some memorable moments on here, and some feuds and storylines continued and started leading into WrestleMania 10. Well, let's kick it off with the undercard, and a pretty good undercard in my opinion. Starts off with Tatanka, who was supposed to be going up against Ludwig Borger, the man who defeated him, the man who ended his streak, one of the best streaks of pro wrestling of all time. Let's have it right, Tatanka's streak. Forget Undertakers, forget Goldberg's, all about the Tatanka streak. Let's have it right. But yeah, Borger was injured his ankle, and in his place was Bam Bam Bigelow. And these two had a decent match. It was an enjoyable opener. Not a bad one, a solid, decent opener. Tatanka gets the win. Always felt sorry for Bam Bam, no. Constantly losing now. Pay-per-view after pay-per-view after pay-per-view. He's on the losing end. And many of his feuds in his time in the WWF, if I go back and think about it, he's on the losing end constantly. They could have done so much more with Bam Bam Bigelow during this time period. He was a monster, a great heel, and they really didn't capitalise on him, in my opinion, as much as they should have done at this time. Second match was for the tag team titles, and I remember thinking at this time, heading into this show as a kid, thinking, oh my gosh, Bret Hart and Owen Hart are going to win the titles. We're going to get to see the Hart brothers get the titles, become tag team champions. Oh my days, I can't wait. There is no way they are losing to the Quebecers. They have to be beating them. Surely they have to be. You thought all the problems had been put aside after the Survivor Series. Owen had forgiven his brother. They sucked me right in. They really did as a kid. They sucked me right in. I didn't see it coming. It was a really good match, and I think people forget how good the Quebecers were. I mean, PCO's still knocking around today. Pierre, he's still going strong. This was a decent match, really enjoyable, and the story told throughout was fantastic. Bret Hart gets injured on the outside by the Quebecers as the ref has his back turned, trying to hold back Owen Hart. Bret's knee is done. He tries to continue, he tries to fight on, and he does a good job. He even manages to put on a sharpshooter, but then it's just too much. The pain is too much for him, and he collapses in a heap. And the referee sees it, and he calls it. But there were opportunities, and Owen has a point. He does have a point. Bret could have made a tag to Owen. He could have done. Owen could have won that match for him. He really could have, and we could have seen the Hart brothers as tag team champions. But was it the selfishness of Bret Hart that cost him the match? Was it he felt it was him who had to carry the team? He was the older brother. And he felt it was his right and his job to be there and win the match for the brothers. But I felt bad for Owen. You had to. Owen was in fine form. He was ready to go. No problem, he was fresh. Not injured. Bret was done. He should have made that tag, in my opinion. Go looking back at it now. What an arsehole Bret Hart was. But great storyline. Like the way they're building this up. And then finally Owen just snaps after the match. And finally he attacks his brother. Kicks him in the leg. Takes him down. Shouts at him more. Berates him. And then storms off to the back. And cuts a absolutely phenomenal promo. Backstage, while Bret's being stretchered to the back, Owen Hart is backstage being interviewed by Todd Pettingill, and the promo he cuts, my goodness, proving without a shadow of a doubt that he is by far the best Hart on the stick, on the mic. He is the best talker by a long way in the Hart family. No one is near him. From this promo, It was brilliant. And it just sent Owen to another stratosphere, really. Sent him up the card, and now he is level, in my opinion, now with Bret Hart already, who's already been a champion, but Owen is right there alongside him now as a contender, as a heel. And the storyline is right there heading towards WrestleMania for Bret and Owen, if they're going to go down that route, and we know what they do. Owen Hart was phenomenal here. He has it all. In ring, on the mic, character-wise, storytelling. He can do it all. That's why, in my opinion, Owen Hart was the best Hart of all time. No doubt about it. Yes, Bret had all the championships, but Owen was the better entertainer, the better in-ring performer, in my opinion. Just watch what he does over the next year, and you're going to see. Go back, watch from 93 to the end of 93 to 94, 95. Owen Hart is phenomenal. In ring, on the mic, character work, just phenomenal. Let people realise how fucking good he was. What I didn't realise was how good the IC title match was going to be. I mean, never been a massive fan of IRS, but Mike Rotundo can go in the ring. Razor Ramon was over as a babyface. And this match was better than I ever thought it could have been. I didn't see IRS ever winning the title back then. You knew Razor going into this was over and just won the title not that long ago. In controversial circumstances, because there was already another IC title knocking around with Shawn Michaels, and the story there, Shawn Michaels not defending the title, and then them stripping him of the title, Razor winning a battle royal to become the champion, and Shawn Michaels comes back with his old title, and Razor has a title, and there's a storyline there, and it gets involved into this match because Razor, as you know, you think he's going to win. Then out of nowhere, the referee gets knocked down. Razor Ramon gets the briefcase that Irwin was going to use and nails him with it. Irwin R. Schyster is out cold. Razor goes to pin him, and he's there for a minute. The referee's down. Razor gets back up, batters IRS some more, goes to hit him with the Razor's edge. Out comes Shawn Michaels from nowhere, nails Razor from behind with the title. Irwin covers Razor Ramon. The ref comes too, of course he does, and counts Razor's shoulders down. Then here comes Hebner to the ring, explains what had happened to the other ref, but before the ref can make a call and a decision, Razor Ramon has IRS up in the Razor's edge, hits it, covers him, 1, 2, 3, and Razor Ramon is still the Intercontinental Champion. Yeah, it was a bit messy to finish, but this match was better than it ever should have been, and I liked what they did and how they're building towards the feud and building up the feud between Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon to see who is the real Intercontinental Champion, and we know where this goes and what this leads to. One of the best legendary matches of all time at WrestleMania 10. I cannot wait. Next up, the last match of the undercard, the WWF Championship is on the line in a casket match. The Undertaker versus Yokozuna. And I loved how Yoko played this, how he was petrified of the casket, how he was so scared, so nervous going into this match of what could happen. And it was a good match as well. When it was one-on-one, they did a good job. Undertaker and Yokozuna, the chemistry between these two is very underrated. They had some really good fucking matches. I just wish we could have seen more of them. I really do. They didn't have as many as I thought they should have and could have. A really good feud. Could have been so much better. And I felt back then you thought Undertaker's winning, there's no doubt. But then here comes the gang, the mob of heels. It starts off with 1 or 2. You got Tenryu, you got Kabuki, you got Crush coming to the ring to aid Yokozuna. Undertaker deals with him though. Then there's more. There's Fatu. There's Samu, the Head Shrinkers. There's Diesel, there's Adam Bomb, there's Jeff Jarrett. So many heels, Bam Bam Bigelow. They all pile into the ring. They all try their best. But Undertaker fights back. He keeps fighting. Highlights here. Paul Bear taking out Jim Cornette and Mr. Fuji. That was classic. But then, yeah, Paul Bear getting taken out by Yokozuna. That was memorable. But finally, yeah, Undertaker fought and fought and fought. But finally, it was just too much. The urn gets knocked down. That was a bit cheesy and a bit corny with the green smoke pouring out of the urn. The power of the urn was escaping from the urn. And the Undertaker couldn't fight no more. The Hills overpowered him, did a number on him, hit some finishers on him, and then rolled him into the casket and locked it. And yeah, Yokozuna retained the title. Thanks to a little bit of help. But yeah, one question. Undertaker ain't got no friends. Well, what about back at Survivor Series? Where was Lex Luger? He was in the Rumble, he was in the building. Where were the Steiner brothers? No baby faces. No one coming out to help the Undertaker. Fucking hell. No one must like him backstage. Nobody. That's what you got to be thinking as a fan. What, he didn't have any friends. He literally, just at Survivor Series, helped you guys out. Against Yokozuna. Anyway, decent match, and I liked what they did at the end. Some people call it corny, some people call it stupid and spooky, and they don't like that in pro wrestling. I thought it was pretty decent for back then, for that time. The Hills are wheeling the casket out, the lights go out, the green smoke's coming out of the casket, Undertaker's on the screen, cuts a decent promo and says, yeah, mankind will witness the rebirth of the Undertaker very soon. He will never rest in peace. It's a good way to go out, give him a little bit of a break, and he comes back a new and refreshed Undertaker. Yeah, he's obviously probably injured at this point and needed to take a break for a while. But he comes back in a couple of months, even better in my opinion, and that is true. So yeah, looking forward to seeing the return of the Undertaker. And that's going to be very interesting. But yeah, we get finally to the main event, the Royal Rumble itself. I always love a Royal Rumble. Yeah, we get to find out who will be going on to WrestleMania to challenge for the title. That's always a highlight. We got the returns. We got the debuts, the surprise entries, always in every Royal Rumble. But for many Royal Rumbles, for me, the one thing I do enjoy is seeing who gets made. Who gets elevated? Who gets a push? Every year at the Royal Rumble, they always choose someone. There is always someone that gets the shine. And this is one back then in 1994 that a lot of people point to as one of the first ones where they do this, where they give someone a big shine. They elevate them from maybe the mid-card or lower mid-card up into the upper mid-card. And then even into the main event picture eventually. And this year, it was the turn of Diesel. He comes into the ring. There was a few guys in there, like the likes of Scott Steiner, Owen Hart, one of the Head Shrinkers, I believe, and a few others. He just comes in and absolutely cleans house. He was coming into this match. We'd seen him a couple of times before as a bodyguard for Shawn Michaels. He'd had a couple of matches here and there. A couple of pay-per-views he'd featured in, but not really. We hadn't seen a lot of him, and we'd only just seen him help eliminate or put Undertaker in a casket. So rightfully he's coming to the ring and he's being booed by the fans. He gets in there, like I said, and absolutely cleans house. Throws Owen Hart over the top rope, and that gets a big cheer. We knew what happened earlier on with Owen Hart. And he absolutely cleans house. There's no one left in the ring. And he's actually waiting for people to come down to the ring. Never before had we seen this in a Royal Rumble previously up until this point. Someone dominate like this in a Royal Rumble. As men came in, he literally was chucking them back out again. Waiting. Standing around, waiting for people to come in. Finally, Savage, and a few other big names hit the ring, and the big geezers, and it's a bit too much for him. But what a performance. He sets a record for eliminations. But then his elimination comes when they all gang up. A couple of big geezers gang up with the help of his so-called friend or employee or whatever he is, Shawn Michaels at the time. He is eliminated. But it's what happens after his elimination that's shocking the most. Because as he's making his way back to the changing rooms or behind or backstage, as he's walking back down the aisle, the fans start to clap slowly. A few start to clap, and then it starts to spread around the arena. And then people start standing and applauding and start chanting his name. It was unbelievable. He'd come into the match a heel. He'd left as someone who had shone. People had enjoyed watching him, and yeah, they appreciated his effort in the match. And you know, from this moment forward, they are going to do stuff with Diesel. They're going to become a big star in this company. And this is the moment. This is the start of the run of Diesel. And what I've got to say though, Shawn Michaels after this has a decent showing. He really does as well for himself. Gets to the final four with Fatu, Lex Luger and Bret Hart. But Fatu and Bret Hart, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels do get eliminated. And it's down to Lex Luger and Bret the Hitman Hart. And now it gets to the point where we have to talk about the one thing that this Royal Rumble is remembered for, is the controversial finish. Who touched first? Whose feet hit the ground first? Why was there no camera angle that side? Surely the fans on that side should have seen whose feet hit first. And if you go back and watch their reactions to when Luger was announced the winner, and then when Bret was announced the winner, they booed the hell out of Luger. They were not pleased. But when Bret was announced, that front row there, they all celebrated. So that tells me, and that should tell you, whose feet hit first. And if you look at it and if you analyse it better, it was obvious. It was obvious to every man. It's obvious to Stevie fucking Wonder. Even he could have seen whose feet hit first. It was Bret Hart. He was the winner. Everybody saw it. Everybody knew it. Not Lex Luger. But this was the moment for me where the babyface run of Lex Luger, being the top babyface in this company, came to a crashing halt. The fans booed him. He did not get a good reaction. They wanted Bret as the winner. They did not want Luger. But they still continue to go with it. Why? Why continue with it down that road? He was done out here. Finished. What a Royal Rumble. What a show. I love this Royal Rumble. I can't lie. I enjoyed the undercard. I enjoyed the Rumble itself. A very good Royal Rumble and an excellent way to start the road towards WrestleMania 10. Can't wait to watch that one. Let me know what you thought about Royal Rumble 1994 down below. Whose feet touched first? I'll see you next time.